Oh hi, I'm Phil from Petrol. Thanks for tuning in. Firstly, I'd like to thank you very much for watching some of our other videos. We now have got over 1.3 million views and I really appreciate people like you watching and supporting us, so thanks for that. I'd like to bring your attention to glass bottles and the importance of them. I'm just filling some of them up with actually Ribena and other juices, concentrates, because they don't do well in plastic for years. Unfortunately, plastic can impart a taint to its contents, especially with Ribenas and stuff you want to drink, and so I would always urge you to put the contents into glass because that will keep it far fresher. And this should be okay for years in there, okay? Now I'm trying not to overfill these bottles because, especially if you're in an area that might freeze, you might find that it'll break the glass if it expands too much. So at least leave a fair bit of gap at the top for it to expand if necessary. Perhaps even a little bit more than that. Somewhere like the mid-shoulder is perfect. But what can you put into glass? I'll tell you. I mean, I filled all these full of bleach because when I last stored quite a quantity of bleach for 5 or 6 years, I was shocked to find that it had actually gone. So I thought, why have I stored empty tubs of bleach? Then it dawned on me, I hadn't. It had literally migrated through the plastic pores. It had evaporated. So I'd been breathing chlorine gas for the last few years and didn't even know it. But it'll be quite safe in these bottles. One very important thing though is to always label very meticulously, because I mean this could pass for a whole host of different things, including a wine. So be really careful to actually label thoroughly. But the things you can put into glass bottles, vinegar, surprisingly, stuff like sugar, because sugar will never, it'll go into the bottle dry perfectly through a normal funnel like that, but it'll never go hard, never get damp when it's in a glass bottle, especially if it's got a nice screw cap. Salt, same difference really. You can put olive oil in there and a whole host of other things, anything you can think of really, but one thing is a surprise, and that is petrol. You can actually keep petrol in glass bottles as well. In fact, all over India, vendors that sell petrol sell them by the glass bottle, small glass bottle, to the moped drivers, so that's interesting. But petroleum, or gasoline as you call it, over in America, would last for 20 years in a glass bottle with a sealed top. The only condition is that you should just turn it over a couple of times before you use it to mix the contents, but nothing can migrate through glass, so it'll just be the same as the day you put it in. So that's good. Now you might think it's petty filling glass bottles full of gasoline, but not really. I mean, this bottle full would get me to my local store and back 3 or 4 times. That's not what I call petty, so I'm going to fill some up. And in the UK here, we're only allowed to store 2 of these. That is one of the laws. So, you can put plenty in glass bottles and use that as well. And I have to say, it would be rather safer as well than being in a combustible plastic container. So that's great. So I'll fill a few more up. Oh, and this is hand gel, hand sanitizer. It's the alcohol type. This is the only size you can buy in the UK just at the minute, because there's been a bit of a rush of it due to COVID. So I bought several of them, and these will all go into a glass bottle, because when I last stored quite a quantity of this 10 years ago, I was surprised 5 years later to find that it had all gone, just like the bleach, all evaporated through the micropores in the plastic. But in glass, I'm sure I'll find it there again. But thank you very much for watching this. I'll fill a few more up, and please watch us again. Thanks very much. Right, well I think I've finished bottling for today, so thank you very much for watching, and I'm going to put all these in our deep store. Cheers.